This is a really magical space up here. I think the Gods is one of the highlights of the whole theatre. Quite superb spaces. It would be absolutely anathema to have to forego this as a key part of the theatre, particularly for any Building Act requirements. But I think in most cases we can identify Building Act conflicts up here and deal to them one by one. The other thing we've got to bear in mind in a building like this is that we needn't return it to looking brand spanking new. Granny's got wrinkles and they're well earned, and we don't want to Botox her into oblivion. So a little bit of grubbiness, a little bit of wear and tear, a little bit of the signs of age is good.
Yeah, let's find a colour.
Well, always there's a tension between what, as heritage people, you might want to see, and we've talked about some of those, and what the developer can realistically do. The art, I think, is to find solutions that aren't in conflict with heritage principles, even if they don't perhaps go as far as assiduous restoration might demand. It'll be interesting to see under a microscope. It definitely looks like gold rather than just a cream. You know, you tear a chip of paint through multiple layers, and often that tear will result in a microscopic staircase through the layers. And to be able to see it in 3D helps interpretation quite a lot. Okay, I'll have a look at the sample off the doors and see what we find. Yeah, we've got a good view. What you can't see with your eye on the paint chip becomes marvellously obvious under the microscope. And what we've got is a burgundy top coat and a reddish paint below that, then a very rich sort of jersey cream colour, more clay colour below that, and an undercoat that looks as though it's simply a sort of buff colour. So in terms of a layer count, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, possibly 7. It looks as though the burgundy top coat may have had a repaint at one stage. So what then happens is we do these precise colour indications, and those colours get mixed up and the building hopefully returns back to its original look. And so one page for each of these colours. And if you select any one page, there's the range of colours. So I mean, these are, you know, it's virtually very difficult to distinguish between these. Even these, one can get a colour mixed halfway between.
This is the new colour that we've specced, and we've done scrapings to actually take it back to the original colouring, and this is the colour that it was. Certainly a big difference there.
Do you like it?
I do actually. I really like it. Yeah, I think it certainly brings out, when you contrast it with the pointing, it comes out a lot better. I actually thought, you know, maybe the burgundy it would be a bit more of a royal kind of red. And it's actually turned out to be quite a sort of a flat, peachy colour. But we did paint scrapings on it all and scraped it back to original. This is the historically accurate colour. And same with the skirtings, which are a lot brighter than I expected to be, but you know, historically accurate. I was really sceptical when I saw the first coat go on, of the sort of the brighter red on the top of the skirtings, but the sort of the slightly darker red, the darker tone under the bottom of it, sort of helps settle it down a bit. And when you see it on mass, it's not quite so in your face, oddly enough.
You're thinking you're going to be open in 6 weeks?
We're aiming for 6 weeks. We've still got a lot of work to do in that time. Obviously, we've got to sort out the floor, to what level we go to with the floor. It's in the plan at the moment to do a new bar and new back bar area. We're putting in a commercial kitchen with all the extraction and latest stuff out there. There'll be some form of concept for this. What exactly it is, we're still finalising, but there'll be some form of furniture and sort of seating and stuff there. And the idea is that we can open up the doors and people can actually go into the stalls. We can do shows just on the ground floor. So we're just going through the final stages of all that sort of consenting at the moment, licensing. Yeah, and the entrance will also open up. As you can see, we've moved a wall that was between the St James and Queen Street. So we'll reopen up the St James link, which runs all the way through from Queen Street to Lawn Street. And it's a lot bigger and a lot more actually inviting than I thought it would be. Yeah.
The problem is over the years there's been lots of movement under the floor which is transferred through to the face of the terrazzo. We're going to attempt to cut out the cracks, clean them out and replace them with the terrazzo grind and polish, and hopefully it will come back like the original. Well, my family connection to this floor is firstly my father's father worked for the main contractor here when they did the original floor here, and then in the 50s before the Queen came, my mother's father got the contract to do the terrazzo out in the entranceway. So I'm sort of third generation doing this in New Zealand, and that's the connection we have here.
Do you kind of feel that's rather special, that you're working on something that your grandfather's worked on?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's a great feeling, and even my colleagues and the boys that do the job with me sense that too, and, get excited about it. So no, it's a great feeling, and it's just good to see these old floors get restored again.
For the last week we've been 3D laser scanning the entire interior of the St James Theatre here for the heritage people, so they can document exactly what's in here. There's some really lovely features in here, so we've been measuring everything to about 2 millimetres. What it does is it emits a laser beam and it range finds 1 million times a second, and this allows it to build up a point cloud, which is a high definition survey of the structure here. And then what we do is we actually join or register all those individual scans together. The end product is a 3D point cloud within a couple of millimetres of the entire place. The engineers, architects, heritage people can use to do modifications and the like.
I think the next biggest change is seismic, is the design of the seismic program for the building. There's lots of different opinions on it, and every heritage sort of architect or sort of party has a slightly different view on things about, and also what we should do with the theatre. Everyone wants a slightly different use, but we have to be multi-purpose. It has to be able to be reused, otherwise the building will fall into disrepair again.